a student, a library, and a moment of police violence so brutal that it would force one of India's biggest YouTubers to do something he rarely does: call out the system directly. This is the story of how a routine protest turned into a national scandal, how footage that should have protected the truth almost disappeared, and how Dhruv Rathee broke down what really happened in a university library that night. To understand why this became one of the most explosive stories in Indian social media this year, we need to go back to where it started. Delhi, Jamia Millia Islamia University. December 2019. The city was already tense. Protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act had been spreading across India for weeks. Students were marching, citizens were demonstrating, and the government was watching. But what happened on the evening of December 15th would become something different entirely. Students at Jamia had joined the nationwide protests. Most accounts describe it as largely peaceful: signs, chants, the kind of demonstration you see at universities around the world. But then, things escalated. Buses were burned, property was damaged, and the Delhi police made a decision that would define everything that followed. They entered the university campus. Now, here's where the story gets complicated, and where Dhruv Rathee's breakdown becomes critical. Because what happened next wasn't happening in the streets. It was happening inside a library, where students were studying. Multiple students reported chaos inside the library that evening. Students running, police in riot gear, tear gas, batons, broken glass, and screaming. According to multiple student accounts, police entered the library without warning. They didn't ask students to leave. They didn't give them a chance to disperse peacefully. They just entered. In any story like this, there are always two versions: the official version and the version captured on camera. The Delhi police maintained that they were responding to violence, that they had to restore order, that their actions were justified. But then the videos started appearing. Student-recorded footage began circulating on social media, videos that would become central to the national conversation. Students cowering under desks, police officers beating them with lathis, long batons used by Indian law enforcement, blood on the floor, broken furniture. Witnesses described seeing students, clearly unarmed, clearly not resisting, being struck repeatedly. Other accounts detailed officers smashing library windows, lobbing tear gas into reading rooms where students had nowhere to run. This wasn't crowd control. This was something else. And this is where Dhruv Rathee enters the story. Dhruv Rathee built his channel on breaking down complex political and social issues for Indian audiences. He's known for his research, his fact-checking, his willingness to call out misinformation no matter where it comes from. But his video on this incident was different. You could hear it in his tone. He wasn't just analyzing. He was angry. Dhruv's video did something that most news coverage didn't do. He slowed everything down. He took the footage, the chaotic, overwhelming footage that had emerged from multiple sources, and he broke it down systematically. In his characteristic analytical style, Dhruv examined the available evidence frame by frame. He identified specific officers. He cross-referenced timestamps. He compared police statements with what the videos actually showed. And the contradictions were damning. The police had claimed they entered the library because protesters had taken refuge there. But evidence suggested many of those inside were students who were clearly studying, books open, bags on desks, before the police arrived. The police said they used minimal force. Multiple video clips showed officers beating students who were trying to surrender, who had their hands up, who were already on the ground. The police said students were throwing stones. Dhruv posed a simple question in his analysis: where is the evidence of stones? Show us the weapons. Show us the threat that justified this response. But here's what made Dhruv's breakdown go viral. It wasn't just that he fact-checked the police. It's that he did something most mainstream media outlets in India were afraid to do. He called it what it was: brutality. Not alleged brutality. Not controversial tactics. Not heavy-handed crowd control. Brutality. The response was immediate. Dhruv's video racked up millions of views within days. It was shared by activists, journalists, opposition politicians. International media outlets started citing his analysis. The conversation he sparked spread across Indian social media like wildfire. But with visibility came backlash. Pro-government accounts accused him of spreading propaganda. Hashtags targeting him started trending. Some called him anti-national. Others said he was twisting the footage, ignoring the full context. But Dhruv didn't back down. He released follow-up content. He addressed the criticism point by point. He invited anyone with contradictory evidence to present it. And here's the thing: very little contradictory evidence appeared. What did appear were more stories. More students coming forward. More footage from different angles. Hospital records showing the injuries. Medical reports documenting fractures, lacerations, trauma. The official story was crumbling. Now, let's zoom out for a second. Because this isn't just about one incident in one library. This is about what happens when state power meets protest. When police enter spaces that are supposed to be safe. When institutions meant to protect citizens become the ones citizens need protection from. And it's about the role of independent media in an era when trust in traditional journalism is collapsing. Dhruv Rathee isn't a trained journalist. He's a YouTuber with a camera and an internet connection. But his breakdown of the Jamia incident did something that hours of TV news coverage couldn't do. It made people pay attention. Because he wasn't reading from a script approved by editors worried about political pressure. He wasn't softening language to avoid controversy. He was presenting the available evidence and asking the questions that needed to be asked. Did these students deserve this? Was this proportional? Was this legal? And most importantly, who is accountable? Years have passed since that night in the Jamia library. Investigations were promised. Inquiries were announced. But very few officers faced consequences. Some students received compensation. Some cases are still winding through courts. Official investigations have progressed slowly, with limited accountability for those involved. But the larger questions about police accountability, about the right to protest, about what happens when law enforcement acts with impunity, those questions remain. And that's exactly why Dhruv's video still matters. Because it's a record, a timestamp, a moment when someone with a platform said, "This happened, here's the proof, and we should not look away." In an information environment where footage gets deleted, where stories get buried, where narratives get rewritten in real time, that kind of documentation is powerful. It's evidence that can't be easily erased. The Jamia library incident became a symbol of student resistance, of police overreach, of the tension between order and rights. But it's also a symbol of something else, of what happens when ordinary people with cameras decide that truth matters more than staying quiet. Dhruv Rathee's exposé wasn't perfect. No single video can capture every angle of a complex, chaotic event. But it was necessary. It forced a conversation that powerful institutions wanted to avoid. It gave students a voice when traditional media was struggling to tell their story. It showed that independent creators can hold the powerful accountable, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's risky. And maybe that's the real lesson here. That truth doesn't always come from official sources. Sometimes it comes from a YouTuber with good research skills and the courage to call brutality what it is. Sometimes the edge of entertainment is also the edge of activism. And sometimes that edge is exactly where we need to be.